Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. I'm here with Coach Vince. Coach Vince is the person who coined the name, the General for Mike, and I'm here with Vince to get her first-hand account of the situation.
So the General story. This was Philly Naga 2016. This was my first tournament as a blue belt, and we traveled to Philly, AJ, Mike, and myself. And initially, we were just going to go coach these two kids who were really good, Kendra and Adele. But we were like, hey, let's sign up. So we all signed up. AJ and I were blue belts. Mike was a brown belt, and we went and did it. Now, Philly Naga was huge. It had there was 2 ice rinks filled with mats, and you had to run back and forth, right? And the night before, we get in there, we weigh in, we go to this ganky motel that has a fucking bulletproof glass, right?
Yeah.
And so Mike, I don't know if you've never seen Mike just pulls big dog moves, all right? Everywhere he goes, Mike is just big dog, right? So we walk in, we get in a room, right? And I can't remember if Mike already got a room, but the guy was like, oh, there's 3 of you, so it's extra $50 or something, right? And Mike was like, yeah, okay. And he looks at the guy, he goes, why is it an extra $50? Do we get an extra cot? Do we get something else?
Yeah.
And he's like, no, it's just the fee. And he goes, all right, well, I'm not paying it. Whether there's 2 people in the room, 3 people in the room, where there's not an extra bed, there's nothing. And he's staring this dude down through this bulletproof glass. And he's like, I'll give you $20. At the end of it, he's like, give me $20. The guy's like, whatever. And Mike goes, all right, man, good deal. And slides him a 20. He's like, you put that in your pocket, right? And just played it off, just a big dog move.
Yeah.
I would not go to some ganky motel in Philly and argue them about fucking pricing. So that was one of the things that happened the night before. I was just like, fuck, man. Mike is he's just a dog, right?
Yeah.
And then we go to Applebee's to eat, and we drink, we get a little fucked up, and we all get sick, right? We all get sick. I remember at one point there's 2 beds, and Mike was laying on one, and I was laying on one, and AJ was laying across, and there was a gap between, and his head was on one side, and his feet were on the other side of the bed, and this is how we slept, right? So this is terrible. We all get sick the next day. We all feel like shit, right? Pneumonia, like Mike said, and we go and coach, right? So we have to be there, early for the kids. Again, it's a huge tournament, and we go coach these kids. They do great. They win. They podium, and then later that day we go, right? And we're just we're all just fucking down. We're like, yeah, this is terrible. I feel like shit. I don't even want to do this. And da, 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 da. So I have no gi first. I win my first match, and then I lose my second. And I'm like, shit, that sucks. No podium, single elimination. So then AJ goes, right? And first match, AJ hits big double, lifts this kid up in the air, right into side control, gets rolled, reverse, and starts immediately tapping down wrist locks, right, from side control, from bottom side, this Jeff Glover looking kid just wearing basketball shorts and a wife beater.
Oh man,
dude, this kid looked like Jeff Glover, right?
Yeah.
So we're just Agent and I are just man, we suck, we're terrible. So Mike goes out there, and he wins a couple matches, he podiums, right? And we're just all right, we gotta turn it up, right? We gotta step up a little bit. Mike just went out there and he's like, I'm sick too. I did all the things that you guys did yesterday, and here I am. I'm winning at brown belt, right?
Yeah.
And he had some really good guys in his bracket. I can't remember exactly their accolades and stuff, but they were good, right?
Yeah.
There's a couple really good guys in his bracket, and he medals. So AJ and are like, all right, dude, we gotta turn this around, right? We gotta it's time to wake up. It's time to let's get after it. Let's get some wins. Yeah. And I ended up getting silver in my gi bracket, and AJ podiums as well. And then Mike goes and does gi, and he's like, the last match of the day, they're cleaning up mats as he's finishing his last round.
Yeah.
Medals, right? Podiums. And after that, I'm like, man, Mike, like, you know, I just was like, you're the general, man. You know, you went out there when the soldiers were down, right, and led from the front, and you like brought up our spirits, and just like, and we're like, all right, we gotta show up. We didn't drive all the way out here to get, you know, like, to not podium, to not win, right?
Yep.
And so that's the story.
Yep.
General, yeah.
Yep.
Started calling him the general after that, and it just stuck. That was 2016, yeah.
Yeah.
So, you know, good times.
Yeah. I think that he is certainly a force that it's better to be behind than in front of.
Yeah, I thought we were fighting this motel dude. Like, you could see how Mike was just like, well, do we get an extra cot? And the guy's like, no. And he's like, what am I paying for? You know, like nothing else is in the room. What am I paying for?
Yeah.
He goes, that's just our policy. And Mike's like, no. I was like, yo, and I just stood behind him because this is like first time I traveled with Mike, and I was just like, no, like I don't know, I'm not in charge here, so I just, you know, like he said no, he's not paying. I was like, I guess we're not paying, right? And again, just the way his face changed when the guy was like accepted the 20, right? And immediately went back to like smiling Mike. He was like, "Oh man, all right, brother, like good deal. You slip that in your pocket. You earned that one. You earned that." And he like slid it through the bulletproof glass, right? And but yeah, dude, like I've been on a lot of trips with Mike, and I've seen Mike do a lot of wild things. But that was the first time, again, I've ever seen anyone just argue against a shitty Philly motel, you know, worker about the fucking price of a room because there's an extra person. It was crazy, but the general.
Well, and that guy made 20 extra bucks.
That guy made $20.
Everybody won.
Yeah, everybody wins.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, thanks for telling the story, man.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, thanks for being on the story or on the channel. Thanks for watching, everybody. Do the like and subscribing. You want to show them where I hit the bell? Just point anywhere. It doesn't matter.
What's that?
Just point anywhere on. Show them where the bell's gonna be. There you go. Thank you. And then come down and train.